Ready, Kanna? Ready? Ready now. Okay. Minute 6-3 on either side. 4-4 all are better. 4-4 all are better. Coming out. Package look at me. Now I'm going to relax. So. Back. Head cross. Okay, ready? Back. Back head go that way. And head first. What's the step? You can come. Forward, slowly down. Come up. Slowly down. Taking against the static step. Short. So this comes slightly front, slightly down. Short. Go below viewing here, just a prayer.
Not viewing, only they come say they have a lot of people. They come inside, they can view. Yeah, only the enter only the place, nobody else. Yeah, only enter only the place.
Wash there.
Viewing is inside this. Viewing is the all place. It's the last prayer. The way to put all is the way to prayer.
Yeah, that is good.
What movie?
You got one. You watch two birds.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So we use one.
Yeah.
What two sign?
Oh man, one thing is 311. Namu.
Yeah, white.
Just
What are you looking for, Shamla? There's the top.
Stick. Take a stick. Take it out of the stick. The inside.
Fine. That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, wash your hands. Keep going.
Like that, Akrabati. No, not easy.
Not easy. Not easy.
Run that thing under the chest. What do I just? What the Stop. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Say it. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya Vage Nadam Dalvage. Say Namah Shivaya Vage Nadam Dalvage. Yeme Kodum Angel Nigatran Vage. Koi Kodiyande Guru Mani Dalvage. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. When does it play? What happened? Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hit the four camphor. Hit the four camphor. Go to four corners of the box. Right. Right and go.
Put on the 4 slabs.
Yeah. You start from that corner and after start from that corner.
Put that side back.
I'm deciding.
Om Namah Shivaya. 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 This is Arichandra stone. He stands guard for that soul. That is the Shivalinga where we pray. Anisa is there. He is the guard. He opens the door for the soul. And the soul is ready to go to them. Om.
All this.
You need to get carry.
Jump.
Take the box.
Come slowly onto the trolley. Come sit there on the trolley, we'll need to catch you outside. Come slowly on the trolley, we'll really catch you all on the street. Slowly on the trolley. Slowly now. Okay. I can just take it back. What may happen now? I need one guy to back to push. That guy's hold on to the front. I'm going to control the front. One guy push. That guy's hold on to the handles and then control the casket from all of the street. We need two more guys here. One more guy. Now. Give me a second, I'll take the bar out. 1 second. Okay, hold it right here, hold it right here. You can come now. Pick the casket up. Yes, pick the casket up. We're head with that. Okay, with what? Head dick. Okay. We'll turn around now. No, that's right. Take the board this way.
Good afternoon, friends and family. It is with a heavy heart that we gather today to say goodbye to my dear grandmother. She was a strong, vibrant, caring, beautiful, remarkable woman whom we have been so blessed to know. We want to spend this time honoring her and her memory and remembering the lives that she has touched. We
prayer. Ulegalamurandam Vodekariyavan Nilemurabiyane Manalveni Alagal Sodiyan Ambalattarvan Malasilam Varivasubanandvam Vasubanandvam Munnavane Yane Mugattavane Muttinalam Sandavane Duine Sugatavane Mannavane Satparane Ankarane Sinsariyan Sakkarane Tatparane Neta Sarvam Saranam Vitnavinayagane Untirupadame Vanavitindrenapa Namasivaya Kadeve Tireve Namamayarku Kadeve Tireve. We can end it Amarika Vivek. This to be a six. The master, mistress of ceremony will take over.
Thank you. You are now welcome to come forward and view the face and greet the family.
வரும் அருட்ஜோதி தெய்வம் என்னை ஆட்கொண்ட தெய்வம் அம்பாலத்து ஆடுகின்ற ஆனந்த தெய்வம் சாலும் மறைகள் எல்லாம் போற்றுகின்ற தெய்வம் போலாந்த தெய்வம் உயர் தாளாந்த தெய்வம் இருள் பாடும் நீக்கி ஒளி என்னருளோ தெய்வம் எளிய நான் எண்ணியவரும் எனக்கருளும் தெய்வம் இருள் பாடும் நன்மையும் சிவமாக்கும் தெய்வம் சிவபயம் விலகுகின்ற தெய்வமதி தெய்வம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் அன்னம் பாலுக்கும் தொல்லை சிற்றம்பலம் பொன்னம் பாலுக்கும் பூமேசை என்ன பாலுக்கும் அஜரகானன்பூரே என்னம் பாலுக்கும் நோய் பெறவிய மதுரை வாழே மங்கையார் மன்னம் சாற்றும் சிற்றம்பல வாத்திருமாறே அதை வாத்தேரோடு தோன்மொழி பாரா மீத்தேங்குள் சேர்வார் சென்றாம் தூய்மைனேம் அன்னம் பாலுக்கும் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் பொன்னாமலுக்கும் பூசியே அன்பே அருஞான வடிவானே அன்பே கண்டோர் நாடிடும் என்பே அன்பே மருணிக்கும் ஞான குருவே அன்பே கண்டன் உள்ளத்திலே கொண்டே பொன்னம் நீருங்கள் தோறும் கலந்து அன்பே ஜகனையாவதும் தூய அன்பே பொன்னும் பூசணம் பயிர்த்தருத்தேனன்பே நாடி சேவா ஜகத்தீரே அன்பே அருள் ஞான வடிவான அன்பே கண்டோருள் ஆடிடும் அன்பே ஆடிடும் அன்பே பாரடுவன் நான் நிரந்தயன் காரணே நின் பாதம் தினந்தோறும் துதித்தோமே பார்வதிநாத பரமாநாதனே மாசிலாடியார் போற்றும் சிவமே நித்தம் பாதரன் உள்ளத்தல் ஒழிக்கும் நித்தியநாத சத்திய சுடரே நீத்தும் காப்பான் என்று நாடிய சிவனே ஆண்டு கொள்வாய் சிவனே பாரடும் வெண்மாய் நிறந்த என் பரணே நின் பாதம் நினைத்தோறும் துதித்தோமே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். தாயும் நீயே தந்தையும் நீயே சிவபெருமானே எங்காயும் நீயே யாவும் நீயே சிவபெருமானே மூலம் நீயே முதலும் நீயே சிவபெருமானே எந்தன் முன்னோர் போற்றிய பொன்னியம் நீயே சிவபெருமானே ஓங்கம் அறிவொளி தருபவனியே சிவபெருமானே எந்தன் நோம்பல் வளர்ந்த விநாயகனியே சிவபெருமானே பொன்னோம் நீயே மணியோம் நீயே சிவபெருமானே பொன்னம்பலம் நடரசனியே சிவபெருமானே தாயும் நீயே தந்தையும் நீயே சிவபெருமானே எந்தங்காயும் நீயே யாவும் நீயே சிவபெருமானே பெற்ற தாய் தன்னை மக மறந்தாலும் பிள்ளை பெரும் தாய் மறந்தாலும் உற்ற தேகத்தை உயர் மறந்தாலும் உயர் மேவிய உடல் மறந்தாலும் கற்ற நெஞ்சகும் கலை மறந்தாலும் கண்கள் நின்றோ இமைப்பது மறந்தாரோ நற்றவர்தே உணர்ந்து கூறும் நமச்சிவாயத்தை நான் மறவேனே நமச்சிவாயத்தை நான் மறவேனும் ஓம் நம சிவாய நமः ஓம் நம சிவாய நமः நமः அரகர சிவா சிவா சாந்த ஸ்வரூப சிவசங்கரனே சின்மய தேவா சிவா நமः ஓம் கௌரி சதாசிவா தேவ தேவ சிவா பெருமானே பிள்ளையம்பலத்தால் நலராஜாதியே சசுமே தாதனே பரமேஸ்வரா எந்நீலம் நம சிவாய ஏதிலும் நம சிவாய புகழிலோ அம்மையே அப்பப்பா ஓ பிள்ளமணியே அங்கிருந்தே ஆரமோதே உய்மை பெருக்கு பொழுதனை சுரகும் பொழுதலை புள்ளியான தனக்கு செம்மையாவே சிவபலம் அழைத்து செல்வமே சிவபெருமானே எம்மையை உன்னை சிக்கன பீடித்தேன் எங்களு அருள்வது என்னையே அம்மையே அப்பப்பா பிள்ளாமணியே அம்பினல் இருந்து ஆரமுதே ஆரமுதே அன்பில பிறந்தோம் அன்பில வளர்ந்தோம் அன்பில விளையாடும் அரசே அன்புருவாகி அன்பில சேர்த்தாய் அன்பே அன்பே என்னன் அன்பே அன்பிலம் அமுதேன் கடந்த பெருடியே கருணை கடலை என்னன் சிவமே அன்பினம் பீடிமன் அமர்ந்தல காணாம் ஆனந்த நன்னடி துணையே அன்பில பிறந்து அன்பில வளர்ந்து அன்பில வெள்ளையாடும் அரசே வாடினன் வாடி வருதய மெய்யா மாதவனே தருள் வேதி தேடினான் தேடி நான் கண்டு கொண்டேன் சிவமேனன் பெரும் புகழ் நாமம் நின்னருள் வேண்டி கண்ணியான் வேற்று கலங்கிய நின்ற நாட்களில் எல்லாம் மண்ணேனை என் முன் கலந்து நான் நின்றேன் மனக்கழியாழிப்பாய் போற்றி அன்பில பிறந்து அன்பில வளர்ந்து அன்பில வெள்ளையாகும் அரசே அன்புருவாகி அன்பில சேர்த்தாய் அன்பே அன்பே என் அன்பே 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 தேவன் கோவர் மன்னி கோசை நல்ல செய்திகள் சொல்லும் மணி கோசை பாவிகள் மீதும் அண்டவன் காட்டும் பாசத்தின் கோசை மன்னி கோசை தேவன் கோவர் மன்னி கோசை நல்ல செய்திகள் சொல்லும் மன்னி ஓசை ஊரார் வெடுத்தால் உலகம் அழித்தால் உலகம் கோள் மன்னி ஓசை தாயார் மடிமம் தாவி அணிந்தேன் தழவும் நெஞ்சன் மன்னி ஓசை தேவன் மன்னி ஓசை நல்ல செய்திகள் சொல்லும் மன்னி ஓசை ஊரார் வெடுத்தால் உலகம் படித்தால் உலகம் கோவில் மன்னி ஓசை தாயார் மடிவில் தாவி அணிந்தேன் அவன் உயரே எண்ணம் காக்கும் மணி ஓசை அருமை மகனே பெண்களுமாதி வழங்கும் கோகள் மணி ஓசை அண்ணா அண்ணா என்னும் குரலே அடங்கும் கோகள் மணி ஓசை இந்த ஆசை கிழவும் குரலோசை அவன் அன்பன் என்னும் மணி ஓசை தேவன் கோவில் மணி ஓசை நல்ல செய்திகள் சொல்லும் மணி ஓசை. வருவாய் 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 அம்மா வருவாய் அம்மா திருவே வருவாய் வருவாய் அம்மா திருவே வருவாய் வருவாய் அம்மா 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 வருவாய் 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 அம்மா திருவே வருவாய் வருவாய் அம்மா வருவாய் அம்மா ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் இருளே நீக்கிட வருவாய் அம்மா முந்தன் அருளே புகழ்ந்திட மாரியம்மா வருவாய் 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 அம்மா ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் கல்யாணி கருமரி காமாட்சினியே மகாலட்சுமி மாதாரி மீனாட்சினியே வரலட்சுமி வருவாய் விசலட்சுமி நீயே உலகலாமே பராசக்தி தாயே அம்மா 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 வருவாய் 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 அம்மா ஏனம்மா தெய்வம் ஏனம்மா மாமுனிவர் காண வேண்டி துதிக்கும் மரமனே காட்டிடவே வந்தும் எங்கும் ஏந்த மக்களே மாநில சதா காண வேண்டி துதிக்கும் பரமனே காட்டிடவே வந்தும் என்றும் எந்த மக்களே நான் என்பதும் நீ என்பதும் இல்லாத நட்பொருளே சொல்லுதற்கே வந்தும் என்றும் எந்த மக்களே எந்த மக்களே நான் மோகனும் நாராயணே ருத்ர கலந்து சிவனையே காட்டிடவே வந்தோம் என்றும் எந்த மக்களே எந்த மக்களே காதலை போல் காட்சி நம்மை மாயக்கும் மாயமே காட்டிடவே வந்தோம் எந்த மக்களே நாட்குருவாய் தோன்றிடுவோம் ஈசெல்லாம் மக்களே சொல்லுதற்கே வந்தோம் என்றும் எந்த மக்களே மாமுனிவர் காண வேண்டி துதிக்கும் பரமனே காட்டிடவே வந்தோம் என்றும் எந்த மக்களே எந்த மக்களே என் தாய் அருள் பெருஞ்சோதி பாபா என்னை கொல்லோரே அண்ணாலே பாபா மறைசொலும் பொருளே அமுதையன் தேனே இசமரத்தடிலே காட்சி தந்த புண்ணியா என் தாய் சிவலிங்க பெருமான் பாபா எம்மையாளம் முதல்வனே பாபா திருவடி நோங்க வெள்ளமன் நடந்து வேளாங்க கண்டு மாசீலமணிய சிவபுரத்தர சேவா அன்பினம் ஆமுதே பாபா மறை சொல்லும் பொருளே அமுதையந்தேனே இசமரத்தடிலே காட்சி கந்த மணியா ஏந்தாயருள் பெருஞ்சோதி பாவா எனக்குள்ளோரி ஆனாலே பாவா நெஞ்சமெனி ஈசன்னாமதி போற்றுவாதேனோ போற்றுவார் காலா காலன்னை காயுன்னை நாதன்னை காலா காலன்னை காயுன்னை நாதனை ஆதி சோதிய ஆட்கண்ட பூரன்னை நெஞ்சமெனி ஈசன் நாமத்தை போற்றுவாதேனோ போற்றுவார் போலாதாரன்னை முதல் ஒருவாரன்னை போலாதாரன்னை முதல் ஒருவாரன்னை பாதன் வேதன் கீதன் பாதத்தை நெஞ்சமெனி ஈசன் நாமத்தை போற்றுவாதேனோ போற்றுவார் அவனே உலகம் அவனே துணைவன் அவனே உலகம் அவனே துணைவன் அருளே துதைக்கும் திறனே துதிப்பர் நெஞ்சமெனி ஈசன் நாமத்தை போற்றுவாதேனோ போற்றுவார் அவனே உலகம் அவனே துணைவன் பருளை துதிக்கும் சிவனே துதிப்பார் பொன்னாமேனியனே பொன்னாமேனியனே என்னை திருசிற்றம்பலவனே பாடுவாயாடுவாய் நெஞ்சமெனி ஈசன் நாமத்தை போற்றுவார் தீனம் போற்றுவார் அம்மாவே வணங்க உயரில்லை நேரில் நின்றும் பேசும் தெய்வம் பெற்றதாயன்றி வேறொன்று வீரு அபிராமி சிவகாமி கருமாரி மகமாயி திருக்கோவில் தேவங்கள் நீதானம்மா திருக்கோவில் தெய்வங்கள் நீதானம்மா அநேகம் ஆனந்தரும் அபிஷேகம் அலங்காரம் புரிகின்ற சீரு நன்றே நன்றே அம்மா பொருளோடும் புகழ் வேண்டும் பாகனாலே தாயே அருள் வேண்டும் என்ன என்றும் ஆறு கொடுமே ஆதரிங்க பிற போன்ற அம்மையும் தாழும் நான் உண்டே அங்கை கீழே என்ற வர வேண்டுமே ஆதை நீயே தோருவனியே அம்மாயன் அழகாக உயர்ந்தில்லையே அம்மாயன் அழகாக உயரில்லையே அம்மாவை வணங்க உயரில்லையே பாசம் தங்கும் பாரு வெள்ளி மணிக்கு மணிவாயரும் ஆவையும் ஒரு தாகி அம்மா வெளமீது விளைவது ஏத்தாகுருதாரோ கடைத்தாள் தாயே அன்பொதி காலமும் இறைத்தை மருகள் பொருயனை தானி நீ பாத பெரும் பாடு அறிவே நம்மா இஜதுதை மாங்க எத்தே தாரும் தாரும் இதை குந்தா பாடு காடே திருமா அம்மாயன் அழகாக உயர்த்தல்லை அம்மாவே நீ அம்மாவாய் வணங்கி உயர்லையே அம்மாயன் அழகாக உயரில்லை அம்மாவை வணங்காக உயரில்லையே நேரில் நின்றும் பேசும் தெய்வம் பெற்றதாயன்றி வேறொன்று அபிராமி சிவகாமி கருமாரி மணமாகி திருக்கோவில் தேவங்கள் நீயே தானம்மா திருக்கோயில் தேவங்கள் நீதானம்மா அனைக்கான அலங்காரம் அபிஷேகம் அலங்காரம் புரிகின்ற சீர்கின்ற நன்றே நம்மா என்னம்மா ஏனம்மா என்னருடைய சிவன் கோவில் சூடாத காதல் காதல் சிவரூபம் காணாத கண்கள் கண்கள் சிவநாமம் துதியாத நெஞ்சு நெஞ்சு
Good afternoon, friends and family. Thank you once again for taking the time to spend here with the family during this sad time. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naidoo. I'm the eldest grandchild of Ael. Today we have a few speakers that will spend time remembering the moments and the impact that Ael had in our lives. For those of you who are not aware, my granny grew up in Tonga. She was the eldest child to her parents. Her siblings were the late Uncle Boya, late Uncle Gopal, Uncle Jia, who is here with us today, Auntie Anisa, who's also here, and late Auntie Vita. Given the big age differences, they were not so, with the younger siblings, it was not so much that it was their big sister, it was more of their mother. Today we're really happy that we could have with us two of the siblings that are both going to share some happy memories with us. I'd like to welcome Uncle Jia to the stage. Uncle Jia would like to start off his speech with a special song for Ael.
A little boy walked into the kitchen one evening while his mom was
I thank the Lord that my sister was part of my journey. She was not only my sister, but she was my mother. To the older folks here, will know that to be true. My mother was very, very ill when I was still a young child. I was premature when I was born, and we lost our mother when I was about 7 to 8 years old. My sister and my brother-in-law raised me as their own, and they gave me all the love and support. Every holiday I would be in their home, school holidays. I was actually like the big brother to the children at home of my sister's children, the ones that are right here now, this moment of time, with the brother being late. And I was not so much as an uncle, but I was as a brother. That's how closely knit we were in the family. My sister and my brother-in-law worked very hard in order, to see to that the children can succeed. And I remember the poor days when my wife and I, when we just got married, my children were small. And how she used to pack grocery parcels when we used to go visit her, that we may take home and have more food to eat. It was difficult days. Now therefore I would say, when I say my sister, I want to say it this way, my mother. I want to fill in that gap of a mother because she was my mother. She used to also buy, together with my brother-in-law, gifts and clothes for us during festive times like Christmas time, New Year's. And I know that I had a special place in her heart. We loved each other, and she was very fond of my family, especially Ael, my son. And even now, she loves the family, though my wife has been late and I got married again, and she used to love Ingrid very much. My sister had a way of making even the smallest moments special. That was great about her. She liked her baking and do things, filling our lives with laughter and warmth. Her kindness was endless. Her heart was always full of love. Her door was always open to anyone, young and old. I've learned a few lessons from her. Nothing in nature lives for itself. Say, rivers don't drink their own water. Trees don't cut their own fruit. The sun doesn't shine for itself. A flower's fragrance is not for itself. Living for others was what she was, amen. And there is no way you can ever fully express the pain of losing a loved one. I will miss my sister dearly. And always I will remember her for all what she done for me from a little child. Unless you have lost one, you would understand what I'm talking about. The sad part is, in less than 1.25 years, I lost 2 brothers. My eldest brother, everyone know him as Boya, the families and friends. Some of them know him in the church side as Andrew. And now my sister. And earlier I lost a sister, and now I just have one sister that I have in the family. That's how death comes to steal away. Death brings sorrows. The kind of sorrow that no man can fix, no man can cure. It becomes such a scar in our earthly life that we will always remember. My sister touched our hearts with her kindness and a positive energy, and above all else, a true love. She was a great mother to me, and therefore I want to say it this way: Mother, rest in peace. God bless you.
Thank you, Uncle Jia. I think some of the fondest memories I have with my granny is her telling us some of the stories from her younger days, and with her siblings. She fondly remembers the time when she was in school and she got the news that Uncle Jia was born. She said it was one of the most exciting days in her life. I have a message from a sister, Anisa, which I'll read out now. Today we say goodbye to a truly remarkable woman, my beloved sister, who lived a long and beautiful life of almost 9 decades. Growing up, some of my most cherished memories were holidays I spent at her home. It was a place filled with warmth, laughter, and love. I played joyfully with my nieces and nephew, but more than that, I was surrounded by deep care and affection. She had a way of making everyone feel special, safe, and truly loved. My sister was blessed with an incredible memory. Even in her later years, when illness touched her body, her mind held tightly to the precious moments of our past. She would often speak of our younger days, remembering the little details that meant so much. Those memories were treasures she carried, and now they are treasures she leaves with us. Though our hearts are heavy with loss, we find comfort. We can find comfort in knowing she is now at peace, resting gently in God's loving arms. A journey here may have ended, but her love, her kindness, and a memory will live on in each of us. Rest peacefully, Akka. You will always be loved, always remembered, and forever missed. Anisa. Thank you, Anisa, for that lovely message. Living in Tonga myself, I often run into a number of my granny's relatives, cousins, and their children, and they always, something I've noticed with all of them is that they always looked up to her. So she didn't just play the role of mother to siblings and a big sister to them. She was really a big sister to all her cousins. They all looked up to her, they waited to see her, to speak to her, and to hear what she has to say. She was also quite the life of the party. She always had something to say. She kept you going. It was never a dull moment when we spent time with her. Aya has 5 children who she loved very much. They are all very close to her. These are the late Uncle Roshan, Premi, who is my mum, Vanilla, Shamla, and Vasanta. I would like to call up Shamla to speak on behalf of the siblings.
Good afternoon, family and friends. Today I stand before you with a heavy heart to pay tribute to an incredible woman, my mom. A woman whose love, strength, and presence shaped our lives in ways words cannot fully capture. My mom experienced many challenges in her life, the death of our only brother, Roshan. She loved him unconditionally. My sisters and I used to tease her that he was her favorite. Many years later, we lost my dad, but Mom tried to be strong and brave for us all. She missed my dad a lot, but occupied her life spending time with her grandchildren. My mom was the anchor of our family. She was the one who held us all together through good times and difficult ones. She had a way of making everything feel better. Even on the hardest days, her love was constant, unconditional, and deeply felt. She taught me values that I will carry for the rest of my life. Kindness, patience, strength, compassion, responsibility, independence, and most important, love. What my mom loved most was feeding people. She enjoyed preparing every family member's favorite dish. No matter what time of the day you would visit her, she would have a hot meal prepared. Her specialty was a gulab jamun. There are so many fond memories of my mom I will cherish. The conversations, her interesting stories, her laughter, the quiet moments, and even the life lessons she gave to her grandchildren. My mom loved people and making friends. She was able to interact with people of any age. Mom, thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for your sacrifices, your wisdom, and endless love. Mom, what I will miss mostly is our weekly visits to you. Premi and I look forward to those visits. You also waited to see us, and you would bath early, waiting for us. Thanks to Debbie, Steve, and Sarah, who always volunteered to bring us to see Mom, even though you all had busy schedules. Your legacy lives on in all of us, in the values you've instilled, in the love you have shared, and in the lives you have touched. I have a few messages from my sisters. Pray me. My mom showed her love through her actions. She was always there when I needed her, looking after my children when I had traveled, standing by me when my grandsons were born, and even staying with me for a month after my surgery to help me recover. She gave her time, her strength, and her love so freely. She made me who I am today. She taught me how to be good and to respect others. There is no other love like a mother's love for a child. Rest well, Mom. Love you always, Premi. Ben, my mom was not only my mother, but my rock, my teacher, my friend. When I think of my mom, I immediately think of her unconditional love for us. She was a second mom and a grandma to my children. As I was a working mom, she was always there for us. We would treasure the precious and beautiful memories. Your wisdom and love are the greatest gifts I could ask for. I love and miss you, Mom. Ben, Vasudha. To my dearest Mom, I miss you a lot. I know you are irreplaceable, but I know you will guide me. And I know you will guide Nicole and I in our lives. All I want was your blessings. Amma, I believe you saw and enjoyed your life to the fullest, and you are in a better place. Rest in peace, Amma. Love, Vasudha and Nicole. Rest peacefully, my mom. You will always be loved, always be missed, and never forgotten. Love you.
Thank you so much, Sean. I truly can say that I see elements of Aya in each of her children. And it's so beautiful that she has passed on this to them, that we can still enjoy that in them. When it comes to her grandchildren, Ael went out of her way to make sure they were well fed and with their favorite foods every time we visited. And she also made sure to keep us humble by reminding us of all our embarrassing moments when we were kids. We all knew her home was open to any of us whenever we needed. It was a haven that we knew was always available, no matter the day, the time, the problem, or the person. Despite the large family, she always knew when someone was missing, and this extended to spouses and friends. Ael's 13 grandchildren. I'm the eldest, followed by Sarah, Dion, Debbie, Grayson, Ronald, Lydia, Esther, Nicole, Enva, Tamishka, Pashni, and Kuresha. Unfortunately, Pashni and Kuresha were unable to attend today due to the distances. At this point, I'd like to call Enva to talk a bit about Ael.
Good day, everyone. I'm Ael's youngest grandson, and I can speak on behalf of all of the grandchildren that our granny has left an impact in every one of our lives. When we talk about matriarchs, a mother matriarch, motherly instinct, motherly love. Most of us, every one of us in this room, from what I'm seeing, has felt that love, has felt that touch from our granny. Even though she's gone, we will celebrate the life that she lived, what she taught us, what she instilled in us, and the love not only she showed us, that she showed to others. Pure love. Most of the time, my mom was at work. My granny should take care of me during the day. And I remember everything. Everything. It's come back like a flood now. We used to fight, laugh. She was always there. And I appreciate. What I'm glad about is my son got to feel that love from her. Much sad. I'm happy he felt that love that we've felt. And I'd like to thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for what you've given us and the love you've given us. I've got a message from one of my close friends. He's in Cape Town. Couldn't make it for the funeral. But she's touched so many lives. He wanted me to read this out. Today, we say goodbye to our grandmother who meant so much to all of us. I knew her my whole life. She watched us grow from little boys into the men we are today. She always laughed about how naughty we were, running through a yard, crossing the river to the shops, and how I would stay behind just to sit with her and keep her company. That memory stayed close to her, and now it stays with me. She always reminded me to be a good friend to her grandson. What started as a childhood friendship became something that lasted a lifetime. And she was there to see it all. Even as she grew older, she stayed strong in her own way. I'll never forget her quietly walking to the shop on her own, asking me not to tell anyone because she wanted to stay independent. That was her strength. She loved her family deeply, spoke about them to people with pride, joy, and love. My last memory with her was when she met my daughter before I left for Cape Town. The joy on her face is something I will always carry with me. We will miss her. Rest peacefully, Ael. Till we meet again. May you rest in peace, Granny. And all we carry now are the memories and your love. Thank you.
Thank you, Indra. There really is so many memories of her that we cherish, and especially the ones that my granny was not one to shy away from a discussion that might be controversial. She was always ready to argue about anything, and she had solid points to put it across as well. And I think being the eldest grandchild, I got to also spend a lot of time with my grandfather and see the both of them together. And one of the things that really stood out for me, seeing them together, was seeing how he really allowed her to be herself, to be free and open, and that really brought out the best in her. And something we picked up from that is she was able to function as an independent person. She truly was able to do everything herself, and even when she didn't have anything, she would somehow cook up a plan. I remember when she stayed at home once with us, and my parents were away, and she was looking after us, and we were still in school, and we didn't have an oven. So she wanted to bake a cake for us, and at that time, we didn't even know you could bake a cake on a stove. And we came home one day, and we got the smell of this lovely cake, and she says, "You see how good I am? I actually managed to bake a cake on the stove." So she really was able to use whatever she had to give everybody the best experience. And I think I really feel like she and my grandfather were so meant to be for each other, because he really did bring out the best in her, and she was able to really be herself, even with her spending time with her family, responsibilities with her brothers and sisters. He was so fully supported her in that she really flourished completely. The next speaker is someone who is not technically a grandchild, but pretty much her grandchild, our eldest grandchild, so to speak. I'd like to call up Ael P.
Thank you, Naomi. Indeed, Mr. Subia Naidoo was a great man that complemented our dear mother, and he allowed her to grow and be all that she could be. And we experienced that many times. Good evening to fellow clergy, as well as the priest as well, and all family, all friends. It's a great honor to speak on behalf of a great matriarch. And aunt was not just an aunt to me, she was the grandmother that I never ever had. She was a mother as well when my mum passed away. As I drove into Chatsworth, and I've always thought of Chatsworth as a vibrant, happening place and colourful place. As I drove in there today, it looked gloomy to me. And I thought it was the weather. I thought maybe I was feeling a bit down. And I realized that Chatsworth will never ever have the appeal that it always had to me. And I realized the reason I felt that way was because whenever I looked at Chatsworth, I associated it with our dear mother. And as I looked at it, I just realized the shock that I would not see her again. It just reverberated through me. The past years, a few years, sometimes we've been quite busy with many responsibilities, and often I'd had to choose between visiting her. And so often it wasn't really a choice, because I always chose that it was more important to visit her because we'd have a good laugh. She wasn't just a grandmother to me that I never had, she was also a friend, because we'd laugh, we'd joke, and visiting aunts was always a priority. My mum's best friend was aunt. She'd phone her on a Monday morning or so, and they'd talk. And my mum, not having a mother in her life, she looked towards our dear mother Naidoo as her mother. And she was a mother also through to my dad, through to my mother as well, and they'd speak at length. And she was the pillar behind my mother. My granny, as I would say, my aunt loved me dearly. I was one of her favorites, except one of her daughters. But she loved me dearly, and her son as well. And I think sometimes, in some ways, when my uncle Roshan passed on, she began to get even closer with me. And if you tried to say something bad about me, she'd invariably try and protect me. Our love for each other was mutual. And our love actually started when I was a little boy. I can remember there's a few memories that I want to go through. I still remember as a little boy, my dad was a very strong disciplinarian. And whatever is around, he'd use that to discipline. But then aunt came through a few times to visit. And when she spoke, he listened to her. And I was surprised. Yes, the strong dad of mine was intimidated by our dear mother. And then I realized she wasn't just pretty, she wasn't just beautiful, she was also intelligent, and she was a matriarch who commanded a presence. Yes, she was extremely beautiful, very, very beautiful. That's why you see her children also taken after her. My mom and I, sometimes when we sit down, we used to tease her that she had no scars on her legs, and she used to laugh about it, and she used to have fun about it. She was a matriarch, not just to the friends and family, but to the community. If you look at Unit 7, there were many people that would come through to the house. The house was a meeting place, and she also, wherever she went, our neighbors. When I told some of our neighbors in Tongat that she had passed on, they cried on the phone. Imagine, they'd probably seen her about 20 years ago. And we find that being a matriarch, she was also, her culinary skills were second to none. If we go through to our house, within half an hour, the little table will be overflowing with 5 different dishes. And the gulab jam, I've never tasted anywhere else. No one has been able to make gulab jam as tasty as hers. I don't think I'll ever taste it again as good as that. She once told me, listen, I have to give you the recipe. And I agreed. I said, no, it'll never ever taste as good. I baked goods after sitting down, and she'd make every person eat. Once the lady who was assisting me, we went there, and she made this person who'd never eaten hot food, she'd make her sit down and she fed her. You know, the Word of God, the Bible tells us that a great mother is just defined by a strength, by a dignity, by a wisdom, and a deep fear of God. And we find that she allowed those attributes and those principles to be passed on to her children. And that's why we find that their children and their children's children are good people today. She was extremely intelligent, very analytical, and she had that uncanny ability to sense what was on your mind. Often I'd go and visit her, even if it was sometimes at lunch, I'd stop off somewhere, we'd buy something, we'd share it as she got older, because I didn't want her to cook or anything. And before I could go down, if I was having a tough day, I'd sit in the car for a few minutes, try and neutralize my thoughts, and go down the steps. Because as soon as you went down, she'd give me a joke or she'd give me something very intelligent, and I have to think to respond to it. And if you wasn't on the button, she'd quickly establish what is wrong. Once I'd had a problem, and she wanted me to phone the person because she wanted to sort it out. And that's the way she was. She had a sharp wit. Even when an earring started to go bad, she'd be able to hear half of the conversation, but she'll still be able to give a very quick retort. Hospitality was extended not just to the family and friends, but to anybody else who needed assistance. One of the things that I always found amazing about her was she was very appreciative. Once the person that assisted me took Jaden, my son, to pick up, Steve was there, to pick up something from Steve. And so he went there, and as I've taught the children, you know, to pray before you leave. And he went there, he greeted her, he kissed her, spent a few minutes, and prayed. And she'd never forgotten that. In her mind, Jaden had come to visit her. And every time that we'd go, she'd remind us about that, you know, Jaden was a good boy, that he'd come. When she had her special prayers, she'd personally phone me. And she'd tell me, hey, listen, I'm having a prayer. We are cooking this, that, you must come. I says, yeah, but if you're doing that, I says, I have to first come and pray over this stuff. She says, yeah, that's fine. You can come. And I'd go there and I'd pray. She'd call me, she says, come to the pot and pray. And that's the way she was. That's also, if you look at, she asked for a song, Shadows of Blessing, to be sung. She had the ability to unite people from different faiths, different walks of life. She had the ability to be able to relate to a child, relate to an elderly person, and different people. And that's why today, we from different walks of life, with different backgrounds, different experiences, different faiths, we come here today united to give thanks, to give thanksgiving to a life that has been lived well, a life that has set an example to every one of us, that has left an imprint upon us. And she has left something that we can emulate. A memory that I hold dearly was about 10 years ago, I had a birthday party. And our birthdays are shared on the same day. Even though she celebrated on the 1st birthday, she was born on the 17th of December. And I'm also born on the 17th of December. And I invited her and I said, we'll have a party together at my place. And you might see one of the photographs there. And so when I asked her to speak, so she sat next to me before the cake, she began to speak a few things. But she mentioned this. She said in her 40s, she thought that perhaps she would pass on. And I remember that clearly. And she said why she thought of that was because her mum had died in that age. And she said after she passed that age, she realized we must live life fully and live life to the best that we can. Today, she has the pain that I feel and the emotion I feel is similar that I felt when my mom passed on, which tells me that she has left a great impact. And as the Word of God tells us, this woman that she's run a race, she's fought her fights. And as Revelation tells us, God will wipe away every tear from our eyes. We pray this woman, this wonderful example that she has left for us, that we will continue to go on in our lives. God bless you.
Thank you, Ael, for those beautiful memories. I just have a quick announcement. Somebody whose vehicle is MLX617GP, I think it might be causing an obstruction. I'd also like to inform those who haven't viewed the faces yet. We have just 2 more speakers and then we'll open up viewing. And we also have a late lunch that will be provided. It's at the hall down the road from here, called Dravida Hall. And the family would really like if all of you could stay on for the meals as well. I really share the sentiments of Ael in terms of my granny being able to speak to anyone, despite your age, despite knowing them or not. We used to sometimes take total strangers to our house and they used to leave feeling as family. Literally, and they would, our friends as well, continuously ask us, how's your granny? And many of them would be surprised, because I'm not sure why, but sometimes maybe it was their own older grandparents that may not have been as vocal. But when they met Aya, she had full-on conversations, didn't shy away from topics, actually eager to get going with certain topics that people wouldn't want to talk about. So definitely a lot of people remember her and remember visiting her home for sure. Aya was blessed to have seen 7 great-grandchildren: Tamaya, Tyrese, Seth, Levi, Skylar, and Cameron, and Xander. And they have been blessed to have received her love and care. They were all a real joy to Aya, especially as she got older. She insisted on still caring for them as she did with the grandchildren. I'd like to call up Levi, who will speak on behalf of the great-grandchildren.
Good afternoon, family and friends. It's an honor and privilege to pay tributes to my great-grandmother. My great-grandma was one of the most special people in my life. Even though I'm only 14, I feel so lucky to have known her and have shared moments that I will carry with me forever. She used to always like to tell me how she came to take care of me when I was born. She had a way of making everyone feel loved and safe. Some of my favorite memories are the quiet ones, with me sitting next to her playing games on the phone while she puts her arm around me and watch. She was strong in ways that people don't always see. She had lived through so much, yet she stayed kind and gentle. That's something I really admire. Even though she's not here anymore, I still feel her with me, in memories we share, and in the love she gave so freely. I'll never forget her, and I'll always be proud to be a great-grandchild. Thanks, Grandma, for everything. I love you always.
Thank you very much, Levi. We now have a slideshow that has been prepared in honor of my granny and remembrance of her. I will be definitely missed. But we're so blessed to have had her in our lives, and a legacy still lives on in each and every one of us. I'd like to, at this point, call up Uncle Steve to do the vote of thanks, and also just a reminder that we will be opening up for viewing shortly, and a reminder for everybody to please stay and enjoy meals with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I say that's very endearing, beautiful videos to see my mother-in-law again like that. On behalf of the Naidoo family, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to all of you who have gathered here today to honor and celebrate the life of our beloved Mrs. Kanna Naidoo. During this time of loss, your presence, prayers and support have brought us comfort and strength. It means more to us than words can ever fully express. We would like to extend our sincere thanks to the officiating priest, Guru Sivan, for all the rituals conducted thus far. Thank you very much. To those who delivered tributes and shared memories, thank you for reminding us of the beautiful life our dear Mrs. Kanna Naidoo lived and the impact she had on so many people. We are also grateful to friends, family and colleagues who have supported us through messages, visits, meals and acts of kindness during this difficult time. A special thank you to Gavin and Dadu for running around and planning this funeral. Guys, thanks very much for that. To Lawrence and Deshni, thank you for providing the meals that we're about to have later. And a big thanks to Vincent and family for providing meals for the people in Chatsworth. Also, a big thanks to Padmini for making the pickles for a meal, and to Zachariah for organizing the live streaming. Thanks, Zach. To the funeral parlor, Marinial Funeral Services, thank you very much for the exemplary way in which you guys conducted this funeral. And to all ancillary service providers, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Steve. I'll now hand over to the service group. And for those who haven't viewed the face, you are welcome to come forward and do so. Thank you.
Well, प्रभु गणपति परिपूर्ण प्रभु गणपति परिपूर्ण प्रभु गणपति परिपूर्ण प्रभु गणपति गणपति आदि कल्याणी करुमारी कल्याणी करुमारी परलक्ष्मी मातंगी पुन्नमा कही अम्मा
Hi everyone. I just wanted to make an announcement quickly. For those of you who would like to remain in here, we will be here till 3 o'clock. But the food is already at the hall down the road. So please don't leave without having something to eat. You can even go now if you would like to. It's down the road. If you're not sure, you can speak to someone outside that will direct you. But it's called the Dravida Hall. Thank you.
Oh, போர்ந்த கையை தொட்ட கட்டுரை ஊட்டினோர் காதலை வளர்க்கிறோம். கட்டுரை ஊட்டினோர் காதலை வளர்க்கிறோம். நற்குறியாவது நாம சிவாயாவது. நற்குறியாவது நாம சிவாயாவது. இல்லக விளக்குது ஈர்ப்பது சொல்லக விளக்குது தொகுதி உள்ளது. இல்லக விளக்குது ஈர்ப்பது சொல்லக விளக்குது தொகுதி உள்ளது. பல்லது கிழக்கு நாம சிவாய நல்ல கவிழக்கு நாம சிவாய ஆப்பிரை கருவிலே ஆப்பிரை கருவிலே மனதோ பக்கத்தில் ஊப்பிரை கீழந்தடி போரத கையிலுடன ஆப்பிரை கருவிலே மாதோ பக்கத்தில் ஊப்பிரை கீழந்தடி போரத கையிலுடன ஆப்பிரை கருவிலே நாம சிவாய அம்மானுக்கானே அன்பானீரும் அருளில் அம்மாவே அம்மானுக்கானே அன்பானீரும் அருளில் அம்மாவே அருளில் அம்மாவே கண்ணிமைக்கும் நேரத்தில் ஆளும் நல்ல கடவுள்களை கண் பார்த்த கவலையெல்லாம் தீரும் கண்ணிமைக்கும் நேரத்தில் ஆளும் நல்ல கடவுள்களை கண் பார்த்த கவலையெல்லாம் தீரும் நமை சிவாய சிவாய நமோ நமை சிவாய சிவாய நமோ இதற்கு தீரேகும் இதற்கு தீரேகும் இன்னும் சேரவேகும் உடனுவன் பிரியான் ஊரவிலகவேகும் உடனுவன் பிரியான் விழிக்கு போகவேகும் கடவுள்களே கண் பார்த்தார் அவளையெல்லாம் தீரும் கண்ணிமைக்கும் நேரத்தில் ஆளும் நல்ல கடவுள்களே கண் பார்த்தார் அவளையெல்லாம் தீரும் நம சிவாய சிவாய நமோ நம சிவாய சிவாய நமோ விதியும் இந்த நம்பி இரவாகவே விதியும் இந்த நம்பி இரவாகவே விதியும் எங்கும் எல்லாம் விதியும் நம்ப வேண்டும் விதியும் எங்கும் எல்லாம் விதியும் நம்ப வேண்டும் கடவுள் கனி கண்பார் கவலையெல்லாம் கண்ணிமைக்கும் நேரத்தில் ஆளும் நல்ல கடவுள் கனி கண்பார் கவலையெல்லாம் தீரும் நம சிவாய சிவாய நமோ நம சிவாய சிவாய நமோ கருணையுள்ள நீரும் காத்திரவும் வேண்டும் கருணையுள்ள நீரும் காத்திரவும் வேண்டும் காத்திருந்த மானியன் என்றும் பூஜன் மலர வேண்டும் காத்திருந்த மானியன் என்றும் பூஜன் மலர வேண்டும் கடவுள்களே கண் பார்க்க அவளையெல்லாம் தீரும் கண்ணிமைக்கும் நேரத்தில் ஆளும் நல்லது ஆளும் நல்லது ஆளும் நல்லது அம்மாளே பொன்னம்மா அம்மா என்றழுக்கவே உருகில்லையே அம்மாவே கண்காலே உருகில்லை அம்மா என்றழுக்கவே உருகில்லையே அம்மாவே கண்காலே உருகில்லை Ael Mutukumara Agli sarvabhushanam Parasura தந்தை சொல்லிக்க மன்னியுள்ளேனோ தாய் சொல்லினார் ஆதவராம் தந்தை சொல்லிக்க மன்னியுள்ளேனோ தாய் சொல்லினார் ஆதவராம் அயோத்திய வாஸ்தினாம் தசரதரண்டரா காணிக்கு ஸ்ரீவனராம் ஜெய ராம 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 அயோத்தியவாசி ராம் தசரதரண்டரா காணிக்கு ஸ்ரீவனராம் ஜெய ராம 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 Puri Chandavaram, Mali Puri Chandavaram, Anuvati Lanki Sindhuri Ravati Pari Vindavaram, Anuvati Lanki Sindhuri Ravati Pari Vindavaram, Giri Giri Ayodhya Bandhi Mangalamagi Pandavaram, Giri Ayodhya Bandhi Mangalamagi Pandavaram, Ayodhya Vasi Ram, Dasaratha Janki Srivanara, Jaya Rama Rama Rama, Jaya Rama Rama Rama, Jaya Rama Rama Rama. அம்மா நான் உன்னை பார்க்கிறேன், அன்பே நான் உன்னை துடிக்கிறேன். அம்மா நான் உன்னை பார்க்கிறேன், அன்பே நான் உன்னை துடிக்கிறேன். அம்மா நான் உன்னை பார்க்கிறேன், அன்பே நான் உன்னை துடிக்கிறேன். அம்மா உன்னை Be Krishna Mukunda Murari Krishna Mukunda Murari Jaya Krishna Mukunda Murari Jaya Krishna Mukunda Murari Jaya Krishna Mukunda Murari Jaya Krishna Mukunda Murari Krishna Krishna Madhura Muralira Udi Madanalana Vannam Gopi Punya Prana Gopala Gopi Kanna
Good afternoon, everyone. If there is anyone else that wants to view the face, you may come forward now. I'd also like to call my cousin Grayson forward to also pay his last respects.
Dear family and friends, it is with a deep sense of sorrow that I stand before you to speak on behalf of my family regarding the passing away of my dearest granny. As many of you fondly know her as Kanna, when my dad was still alive, my family and I used to live with my granny during first 15 years of my life. I must admit that it was the best years of my life. My granny was a humble soul who looked after me and my siblings with pride and joy. I'm going to read out a poem which I have dedicated to my granny. Your kindness and love were so special, and your art so pure and true. You made the world a better place just being you. I miss you, Grandma, so dearly. I wish you were here with me to help, to guide me through the years, to be the person I want to be. Words cannot describe the loss I feel having to say this last goodbye. Not to have you here with me to wipe the tears from my eyes. But you'll never be forgotten. In my heart you'll always be, and until we meet again. Grandma, I'll keep you in memory safe with me. Thanks.
Thank you, Grayson. I now invite all the close family to come forward so we can say our last goodbye.
Shiva Shiva Hare Shiva Shiva Hare Shiva Shiva Hare Shiva Shiva Hare Shiva 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 Anna Amayani Shivani Kanagani Mandala Pasama Kanmalatani Devani Kanagani Mandala Pasama Kanmalatani Devani Yes, தேசுரமாக காட்சிய தேவி முன்னட்டக்கலமே ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ஜெய 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 சக்தி ஜெய 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 சக்தி ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ஜெய ஜெய சக்தி ஜெய ஜெய ஜனதீனம் வாணி பந்தம் ஜனமனமமிதீத ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ஜெய 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 சக்தி சக்தி शिव ओम शक्ति ओम. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask one and all to please rise for that Chot Pradigam Shanti Praise Rama. Mutti Nari, sing with me. Mutti Nari, Adiyamate, Mutti Nari, Mutti அறிவித்து பல்வினைகள் பருவனும் சத்தமற்றான் அறிவித்து சிதமாகி எதையான அத்தனைகள் அருளியவாய் அற்புவாய் அற்போமே சர்மனும் அறியாது பிறதோடு நினைவேனே உம்மிமரும் அறிவித்து முதலாயே முதல்வண்ணா நம்மையமோ பொருளாய் நான் செய்வித்து எனக்கு வைத்தேன் அம்மையே அற்புதே அம்மையே அருளியவர் அற்புதே நெறியெல்லாம் நெறிகண்ணே நெறியாந்தே நினைவேனே செருநெறிகள் சேராமே இருவருமே சேர்வனும் புரியிற்று இல்லான் கோட்டையனே அறிவனும் அருளியவர் அற்பெருவர் அம்மையே அருளியவர் அற்பெருவர் கல்லாட்புரியும் கருவதாட்புரியும் கசுந்தரியின் நல்லாட்புரியும் நெனியாட்புரியும் நைந்தலத்தின் கொல்லாட்புரியும் குடியாட்புரியும் கோராட்புரியும் எல்லாட்புறைகளையும் போதரவாய் இறைவாய் கச்சேகுவனின் தென்னாடிய சிவனே போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா இறைவா போற்றி போற்றி போற்றறிவோம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி. You call upon 6 followers, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, because of safety regulation, not all is allowed in the antechamber. This immediate family, some friends can give us some assistance at the back. Thank you. Children underage is not allowed in the antechamber. Thank you. Govinda, 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 Govinda. Harinara, 6 followers, please come forward. Harinara, Jana, 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 at the Trevida Hall, just 50 meters down on your left, down the road on the left. There will be the society, they eat lunch or supper specially provided for you. Nandri, Vanakkam. After your lunch, please have a safe journey. Nandri, Vanakkam.